So this past weekend, I went to a birthday party that was a Hobbit theme.
Really?
Yeah, I was supposed to dress up, but I didn't have time to dress up. Yeah.
What were you going to dress up as?
Aragorn.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it did
That's
make
the
me.
only option.
It did make me want to get into like maybe getting a legit Aragorn costume.
Yes.
And then going to like Renaissance Fair or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I had to say there was a word scramble, and a bunch of people were trying to get it. No one got it, so I'm like, and they're like, and someone's like, you gotta go look at it. And I was like, all right. So I walk up there and I'm like, oh, I know what it is. Like that first try, got it right
What
up.
was it?
My precious.
How did no one get that?
I don't know.
Like the most famous line from...
Yeah. Hey. Lucky me.
That's awesome. That was a Hobbit themed birthday party. That's a good idea.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm. I also would want to dress up as Aragorn and get go all out too. You can't skimp on it.
Nope. So, yeah, I'm about to start on that.
Yep.
Chipping away at getting the right things for it.
Yeah. You have to get it piece by piece because it's not going to be cheap.
No.
You're going to do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh, and it's the small stuff. Like, suddenly she's flossing every day and she's dressing nicer.
I can understand the context, but I have not watched it.
All right. Well, this is my co-host, Jered.
What's up? No quote today.
That's a little quote from Dark Matter, episode 6. But we're also talking about Acolyte, episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and so that's just her noticing stuff that he's doing differently, and she's like,
starting to get a little more suspicious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so before we get into those episodes, a little bit of just chatting about other little things we've been watching. What have you been watching, Jered?
Yeah. Only a couple of things.
Yeah. Me too. Not a lot.
Yeah. Also, this is like, we're about to get into like a really good June month though of TV stuff.
I know, after this week.
Yeah.
This Sunday.
Yeah, well, and one of mine is already one that I had been looking forward to for a while that just came out today that I watched a little bit of. That I'll mention. Yeah,
I didn't watch any of it, but yeah.
Well, first one I'll start with is Shoresy, which is on Hulu. Yes, Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spinoff of Letterkenny.
Yep.
Have you watched
I've not watched any, but I'm aware of what it is. Yeah.
I watched a few seasons of Letterkenny because they're always short.
Yeah.
I think they just finally finished the show. It's like 12 seasons or something crazy, and I like it, but after a while I kind of I didn't like it as much anymore.
Okay.
But then I heard that this is even better.
Okay.
And it's like a spinoff of a character that is on Letterkenny, but you don't ever see him.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. No.
Yeah. And this is about hockey.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah, mostly about hockey. But what's great is this character, so you hear him in Letterkenny, but you don't ever see him. But in this one, obviously, you see him. And it's the same actor who plays the main guy in Letterkenny.
Okay.
But he's a completely different voice, completely different character, and it's great. I like it more. I'm trying to think what's different about it because it's still very similar because it's obviously all the same people making it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's anyone different, but I think and I don't know, maybe as I go I might kind of start going off of it too, like I did with Letterkenny. But I think maybe it's just I like the main character even more. Like he's just
Did you say
insane.
it's on Hulu?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, and it's already the 3rd season's going right now.
What?
Yeah, but it's short too. I think it's also 6 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm on season 1 still,
Mm.
but yeah, I wanted to shout it out because it's yeah,
Cool. Might have to try to check it out.
yeah. How much did you watch of Letterkenny?
At least the first season,
Okay.
and then I kind of just want to say like I think it was funny. Like it
Mhm.
just just never. It wasn't like I have to watch it,
Yeah.
and then just got inundated with other things. And
Well, and so you don't really have to. I mean, that's all the context you really need is that it's a character from that. So like you could jump into Shorzy and
right.
see if you like it any
Cool.
better or not. Yeah. All right. Next one is the one I just mentioned. Presumed Innocent is yeah.
So I figured you were talking
Very very excited. I was looking forward to this. I love the movie that it's based on. Was this also a book originally? Probably.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I assumed. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Really good Harrison Ford movie. But then when I heard Jake Gyllenhaal is playing that character, I'm like, okay, he can do this.
Yeah.
And he can. He is very good in this show,
Nice.
which I knew he would be. But the supporting cast too is also really good. But him specifically, I mean, he does this with pretty much everything he's in because he doesn't do a ton of stuff. I've noticed he's very selective with the stuff he does. I've noticed as an
Mhm.
actor. But then he always just kills it.
Yes.
And yeah. Very I don't know how to kind of similar to his character actually in Enemy, which I loved his character in that. No, sorry. Well, no, kind of Enemy also, but I was going to say Prisoners.
Okay.
Kind of a mix of those two. But again, if you know the movie, have you seen the movie?
No.
Okay. It's yeah, I mean, you're familiar with the character if you've seen the movie, but yeah, he's just great in this. I think the reason why he did it cuz I don't think he's really ever done a TV show, not that I know of. And I think the reason why he did this is I thought it was a show, but I think it's just one and done. I think it's a miniseries.
Yeah.
8 episodes. Which I'm assuming is just covering the movie. But the only thing I was worried about, because they're doing this a lot now, they're just like, hey, let's just make an old movie into a show. Like, they're doing that a lot more now, which not always great to do, but
I feel like the most time when they're doing that, it's because it was a book in the first place.
yes,
And so they
that's
can
true.
argue that if they're going back to the source material,
Right.
and the movie made it cut it short because a lot of times they take all the content that's in a book and make it into
Yeah.
a 2-hour movie is
You're leaving a lot out.
You're
Yeah.
cutting a lot out. Doesn't mean it makes it better.
No.
Just saying, like, I think they're.
Yeah, that's true. If
I
it's
feel
on
like
if it's from a book originally, yeah,
I feel
it
like
makes more sense.
there's some credibility in taking that approach.
Yeah.
If that's what you're saying, hey, there was more here in the book. Let's make it into whatever miniseries or whatever, and so we can go a little deeper in some of these characters. And yeah, so it doesn't always make it better, but
Right.
but there's potential.
Yeah, I had a feeling going to this one. I'm like, okay, I think this one's going to be good. And I mean, I can't say for sure yet until like I go the whole way through how it is,
Right.
compare the movie.
Because it's
but-
David E. Kelly's like actually
Oh, right. Actually, I
making the
forgot
show,
that.
yeah. like he's like the showrunner.
Yeah.
And maybe I wrote some of it too. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot he was involved with it.
It's a very veteran
Yes.
TV producer.
Yeah. And that might have been another reason why Jake Gyllenhaal chose it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe he loves the movie. I want to say also his wife in the show. I don't remember the actress's name, but if you ever watched the show Preacher, did you
I
ever
have
watch
not.
that?
No.
Okay. She was one of the main characters in that. She's a really great actress. So I really like her in this. Everyone else didn't recognize.
Mhm.
There might be some other people I think might show up later because I was kind of looking on the IMDb. But anyway, definitely check it out, whether you've seen the movie or not. This is on Apple.
Apple TV Plus.
Yep, Apple's still
Killing it.
making some of the best stuff. Then the last one is, I'm wondering if you watched this or not. Hitman.
I didn't. I did not. I definitely wanted to. It's on the list. Didn't get around to watching it.
Okay, I was hoping it was going to be on your list because
no, it was like one of those things where basically, yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, it was a busy weekend. We had 2 different dance recitals.
I know. Honestly, this is why
a party to go to.
Yeah, I know. This is why I barely had enough time to finish this movie. But I'm like, I got to talk about it because this movie is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of knew it would be because of the director, but he hasn't done a movie in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Linklater.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm very looking forward to it because also Glenn Powell. I like Glenn Powell. Like he's like maybe my new man crush.
He's
up there. He's getting up there with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I'll talk about him in a second, but I have to mention the girl in this first.
Dude, I don't know who the girl is in it. Because again,
I'm very familiar with this girl.
Well, because like again, it's the same kind of thing where like I think I watched like maybe the first teaser trailer and I was like, oh, this is good, mark it down, and then I didn't watch anything else around it.
For the longest time, I didn't know her name, but I got now Adria Arjona. I think that's how you pronounce it. She's from Andor, is what you would have seen her in. Don't remember her character name in Andor. She was great in that.
What role she play in Andor? Like his like kind of like semi like ex-girlfriend love interest that he wasn't actually.
I don't remember. I remember spoilers for very early on in Andor. I remember her boyfriend dies.
Oh yeah, okay, that's who I'm talking about.
Okay,
yeah. You could tell like they used to be an item, like her and
okay, I guess
Andor,
so. I don't.
And there's like, but then they're still friends, and like she was dating the other guy, and he can't. That's why he, again, spoilers, but he turns him in. Like it's
that's what happens. Okay, yeah, I don't remember it
because he doesn't like Andor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so that's her. She's also was in Six Underground. Is like the other thing. Kind of recently, she was in. You remember that movie? Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I saw that movie. Yeah.
I actually watched it recently because I never
watched
saw
it when it came out, so it was a while ago.
Because it's one of those movies I'm like, this is probably bad, but it was better than I thought. Yeah, it was better than I thought it was. But yeah, so she's the main.
Okay, cool.
But I wanted to say,
well, maybe we'll revisit next week and I'll try to watch it.
Okay, you should. Yeah, I think you'll like it a lot. Glenn Powell, though, I haven't seen him in a whole lot yet, but I think this is his best. Performance.
Did you end up watching? What was the one where he was the Sydney Sweeney?
No, I didn't watch.
You haven't watched that yet?
No,
because he's good in that.
Yeah.
And then Twisters is coming.
Twisters is soon. Yeah,
I got my tickets.
He was nice. He was in something else recently. Like he's been in a lot, pretty recently. Like because he's kind of blowing up now. But yeah, I think this is one of his best performance, and it has to do with the movie because you said you don't really know anything about it.
Yeah, like again, like I mean.
Did you watch the trailer?
I watched the very first thing, like, and so like at this point I don't even remember because I just remember being like, "Oh, that looks good." When's it come out? Put the date down.
Yep.
And then if I see anything else about it, I'm like, I know I'm going to try to watch it. So I try to. Again,
I won't
because I like to try to go into stuff a little as like
as blind as possible. Yeah,
just to like enjoy it. I mean, that's the point of.
Yeah, and you should. So I'm not going to say anything about it. The name of the movie is not what you think it is,
right?
But they play on it in a really unique and interesting way, but also what he does because he has to do a lot. I'll just say with his character, and he has to change a lot. So just for that aspect alone, and how different he does in so many ways is impressive. Just amazing. Yeah, impressive. I was blown away, and even his normal self in the movie is so like really like even his voice. I'm like, that's his voice for this. Like he kind of plays like a. Well, I'll just Okay. You'll see. I don't want to.
I'll really try to make sure I watch it then, and we can talk about it next week.
It's great. I mean, I knew it was going to be good, but I liked it even more than I thought I would. And it's a very.
Watch I hate it. Watch me hate it.
Oh man. You might. I don't know. I think you will like it.
I don't think I will.
It's just really well done too, nice. And original. I will say. refreshing for the
Nice.
a lot of the most recent movies that have come out. And I kind of wish maybe it played in select theaters. I don't know, but I kind of wish it was
Probably
more
not.
worldwide. You know,
Netflix doesn't do that very often.
they don't. Okay.
Like, I mean, they like, I think, I mean, they did that for Ryan, Glass Onion. Was it like it? Ryan
Ryan
Johnson, yeah. Like, because it was kind of part of that deal, because to pull him away from making it as a,
Right.
like, they were like, oh, but we will put it in theaters. So, like, his stuff goes for like
they
2
did that
weeks.
with the first one.
The first one wasn't produced by Netflix.
Okay.
And then he was,
But also
he
it
said
got
he was-
really popular.
It got really popular, and then he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a couple sequels, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're gonna be Netflix movies, and then they're like, yes, they're gonna release them in theaters, but then like Glass Onion was in the theater for like 2 weeks, and then it was like on Netflix.
Okay.
So
Well, and anyway, I think from what I've seen so far, it's done really well on Netflix, which is good.
Good.
This movie deserves to do well. So
nice.
glad, because I would like more directors to make more original, interesting things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone check it out. It's on Netflix, and that's it for
Cool.
my stuff. Yeah. So what you got?
Well, I just want to say I finished up Boys season 3.
Yeah. This is your first time, like, because you never finished season 3.
I only watched like the first
Perfect
2 episodes.
timing
I
for
know.
tomorrow night.
I know, and that's partly why I didn't watch this movie, because I was watching
Yeah.
this, trying to get this cut
Well,
up.
let me hear your thoughts. I'm interested because I'm rewatching it.
I think season 3 was better than season 2.
I think
From what I remember, because it was a long time I watched season 2, but like
I think it gets better as it goes. Because I think season 1's the weakest, and then I think 2 is better, and I think 3 is even better.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Really?
Well, because it's just like there's so much. It's so interesting with all the setup and things in season 1,
Yeah.
and then season 2, like I feel like it. I don't know. I think because they have the problem they have, and they kind of deal with it better in this season than they did in season 2, is freaking Homelander is like invincible.
Yeah, he's
basically.
Superman. I mean,
yeah. And then how do you deal with Superman as the bad guy, basically?
Right.
And so like you can't. And then so they keep running to the issue of like they can't almost kill him and then not, and then almost kill him and not, or like. And
Right.
so I feel like, but the way they did it with this one, with creating this other character, Soldier Boy, be like similar to him and strength and whatever, and then have this extra like radiation thing that like might
go off at any time.
Yeah, but also it gave it like there's actually hope for maybe like at least handicapping Homelander a little bit or something. Of course, in the end, spoilers, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also find out that Soldier Boy's his dad biologically, all that stuff.
Yeah. So this is why I think there's other aspects too, but I think the main new characters they add, which they have a lot of the source material from the comics to go off of, but which helps. But with what they do with the second season with Stormfront, like that character was incredible. And forget the actress's name, but she was amazing as that character. And what they did with that was so good. And then this one, Soldier Boy, was so good, and the actor that plays him is hilarious. Some of the stuff he says in this season is just great. And I mean, essentially, he's Captain America. Like that's what they.
But as a douche.
Yes, he's a douchey Captain America. That's perfect. Yeah.
You're right. It is great. It's like
But like it's his voice too, and the way he says things is just
it's also
hilarious.
funny because like he normally plays like
nothing like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like great. For
but
him.
he did it so well. Yeah. And then of course they keep upping just how insane the things that happen. Right. So this season was
and also thought it was this season also throwing in the mix of like the temp v so that so
they have a chance more of
main characters could have temporary which added also like good comic moments when because of what's his name Huey like basically can jump but then he loses clothes every time.
He loses clothes, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So that was a fun twist.
And it's still now that you've seen all of season 3 also, I think I mentioned this before, but I think they do the satire and because the show's very political, but they make fun of everyone.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
I think is good.
So this is just a little side note, but I think this like dark humor, very gory but like funny kind of is like what Amazon's best like thing, because I was thinking about this because like The Boys I was saying, well, then the spinoff did really well for them, but then also you kind of throw in the Fallout has a very similar,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, maybe they found their niche, and then it's just what
That's true.
And what's because there's also something else they're doing now that's coming out later this year that they're doing. That was only be on Amazon, and I was like, and
I don't know.
And I kind of said that someone was explaining what it was. It might even be like an anime or adaptation into live action or the comic. But there's something else, and it was like getting created, and it's coming out later this year, and
it's just very like
or
gory
it's another video game
violent.
or something. Actually, I think it might be another video game. But anyway, the way they were describing it was, and I'm like, kind of the similar tone of that, and I'm like, hey, it's the right place for it.
I know I'm pretty sure Amazon's the one that's doing God of War. Is that what it is?
No, it was not God of War. No, because I know I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
game.
I figured you would have known.
Some other game I never was not familiar with. I think it was some Japanese game.
Yakuza.
Yes.
Yeah. I just saw they were doing that, which it was out of nowhere too. Like they announced it,
and they're like, it's coming out later this year or something.
I'm very excited for that because I love those games.
But are they like, am I like the way someone was describing it? They were like, it's kind of.
No, it's not as much gory, but it's similar to The Boys, where like the most insane situations that happens all the time in Yakuza. It's more of that.
Okay.
I mean, it can get gory, but it's nothing like The Boys with that.
And Fallout wasn't, I would say, gory as The Boys either.
But the situations are so ridiculous in those games that, like, if they do that, that'll work great on Amazon.
And is there like some balance of like kind of dark humor kind of in there?
Yes, it's kind of. I mean, it's a lot of different kinds of humor, but also very serious too. Like the writing in those games, especially, is like done really well. Yeah. Even the newest one, which there's so many of them that I don't know what this show is going to be based on.
Anyway, the way someone was describing it, I was like, almost kind of feels like those, and I'm like, maybe this is the place for that kind of stuff, because it works. Right?
It does work, and I completely forgot about that. I'm excited for that too. It's awesome.
So then I also finished part 1 of Bridgerton season 3.
Okay. I think part 2 is this week.
Yeah, I think so too. But I was just,
still Bridgerton.
Still Bridgerton. Though, okay, I'm going to say, they definitely, it's still season 1 was the one that was like, and that's why even like I'm watching it now, but even.
You're saying it looked cheaper now, right?
Well, not just that, but like, saying? I feel like season 1 hit the note of like, like, I don't know, there was just like I think the people they cast had really good chemistry, those leads, and so it really sold it.
Mm-hmm.
And you really wanted to see that work out, and they did a great job. And then like it just hasn't had that since. And season 2 was like like it wasn't there, and like season 3, it's just not there either at that level. And it just, I mean, it's still smutty, whatever you want to call it, like TV, or like romance novel TV, I guess, or whatever.
It's no Downton Abbey though.
That's
like Downton Abbey is way more sophisticated.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's different. But I mean, it's fun to watch. But I'm just like it. But it's just neither of these seasons have so far. Now maybe this is only half of it. So
okay.
I watched a film called Am I Okay? It was on Max.
It sounds familiar. Who's in it? What is it about?
Crap! I just was thinking her name, and then I was just. That was in Madam Web.
Ooh,
the lead.
Which one?
The lead on that.
Oh, okay.
What's her name?
I don't remember her name. I know you're talking about.
Oh, that's terrible. Anyway, it was not bad. It was basically the lead. Her is just kind of struggling with who she is and kind of figures out that she might like women instead of men.
Okay.
And she's like 30, like figuring this out, like, you know. And that's but that's like not, it's more like her friendship with her best friend and like that and how that plays out. And I don't know, it was something I need something to watch while I was building Lego, and that like no one else wanted to watch with me, because there's like stuff like Hitman that I can't watch by myself. So like and it was early Saturday morning, and I was like, I'm not ready for The Boys this early in the morning.
Can't do The Boys right when you when you wake up.
6 in the morning. I don't really want to be watching.
Oh man, I could watch The Boys anytime.
It's like I need to ease into that. So I want something a little bit more chill. 6 in the morning. So this is what I put on.
I want to say
actually it wasn't bad.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's like amazing, but like it was a good little character.
I'm
like,
sure she's better in this than Madam Web.
Well, I think she's a good actress, because it was what was the Apple TV Plus? There was an Apple TV Plus movie like last year that she was in, and that was pretty good. They had because I'm feel bad because I'm not knowing her name either.
She's from like the 50 Shades movies,
correct?
Isn't she?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where she got like big. I'm assuming.
I don't know if that's what made her big. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. The cover's like her crying. Dakota Johnson.
Oh, okay.
But she's like, her parents are famous, right?
Oh, right. Is Don Johnson her father? Miami Vice himself?
I don't know.
That would be crazy if that's the case.
Is there a way to see that on here? I don't know. Anyway. I think I looked it up. But yeah, that was I feel like I've seen her in other stuff that's good, and then there's like, I didn't watch that, you watched it.
It's worth experiencing.
Yeah, that's her parents, Don Johnson and
Melanie Griffith.
Yeah, Melanie Griffith.
Wow. Just like to tie it together with The Boys, Jack Quaid, Huey.
Yep.
You know, his parents. Which is funny because if you look at him, he looks like the perfect mix of them both. Yeah.
Which
Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, right?
Which makes him look weird.
You know what though? He's a good actor because like I haven't seen him in much else, but like he's doing great.
I think
in
he
this
does
show.
great, but I mean, like sometimes it's like you get these mix of two attractive people and don't necessarily make another attractive person.
Yeah.
Not that he's ugly.
No,
but it's like not stereotypical. Like you're.
Well, I wanted to say, since you're now done season 3 of The Boys and we're about to get into season 4, they just announced there's gonna be a season 5, but then that's it.
Okay.
But thinking about what they did, because I was saying how they keep just topping themselves every season with just the insane things that happen. And you remember how season 3 started?
I don't know. Remind me.
Well, and then also, okay, well, it starts with the guy shrinking down. Do you remember a guy that could shrink really little at all? He's essentially like Ant-Man, but what he does at a party.
I'm sure it's something crazy, but like, I don't know. I don't.
He starts sneezing. But then he goes into a guy, let's say, and then sneezes and the guy explodes.
That was the beginning. I didn't rewatch that. I probably saw it.
Yeah. And then later is the Hero-gasm episode. You remember that one? Well, that one you probably just watched.
I watched it recently, yeah.
Yeah. Which is apparently a big thing in the comics. Like, that was like a big...
Okay.
Anyway, but just keep that in mind. So, and they said that this new season, they said it's going to be even more... And I'm like, what are you going to do at this point?
Well, because there was stuff they did in the... what was the...
In Gen V, they did
Gen V, that's what's good. Yeah, they did some stuff like that.
With the
crazy.
girl
yes,
also being
small.
Yes. So, I don't know, but it's, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. There's a couple little things. Yeah. So also, did you watch the new Apple TV Plus sizzle reel?
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to, because we got a little
Talk about the
hints.
whole Apple event? No.
No, but we are going to touch
I
on
know.
one other thing
Yeah.
about it.
Okay.
But we got a first look at Severance season 2. in that.
Barely, but yeah, it was there.
And also some other cool looking stuff. Some things that are like, again, other shows that you announce on paper. Hey, this person's making this with this actor, this story, or actress with the story. But then even seeing a couple of those like little clips of things that I was like,
The Vince Vaughn, I'm very excited
yes, yep. Shrinking season 2 was hinted in there. Like just like lots of good stuff.
And that sizzle reel, does that mean that is all coming out this year? Is that the point?
I think so.
That's what it seemed like they're showing, but it's like some of that I guess could slip into
early next year. But yeah. And then I just
I'm still hopeful Severance for this year.
They say it is. They say it's going to be out before the end of the year.
Okay.
And then I just my little starting to become my Vision Pro corner.
Yes.
I feel like.
Do you update your Vision Pro? Oh no, I guess you can't yet.
I did not update it, but I probably will play with the public beta when it comes out. Because one, I mean, if it doesn't work, if something gets finicky, it's not a big deal. It's not my production computer or whatever.
I do it every year for my phone, and they've been good. It's only been sketchy like several years ago. I remember
the last time I did it, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore.
it's literally like, I think the only thing that normally happens is your battery is worse.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, again, it's just like I just don't want to mess around because I rely too much on my phone and computer. But the Vision Pro, like, is more like right now. Anyway, downloaded a new game that was kind of wild called Black Box. That's just like a puzzle game, but it's like the puzzle is using all the environment around you.
Okay.
So it's and you even have
Does that have to do with planes at all? Like that's what I think of Black Box, like in a plane.
It's nothing to do with planes.
All right.
So it's wild. It's like so all these things are like floating and then like one of the puzzles you can even say words and those words like come out as 3D letters, words, like they kind of like you say it and you're like hi, and it's like floats out,
nice.
And then it falls and just is laying there on the ground
and stays there.
Yep.
Wow.
And you can pick them up and stuff.
It's really good
like,
physics.
So like that kind of crazy stuff, and it's just there's like most of the game is based on these like different shapes and orbs that are kind of floating around that you have to figure out how to solve each puzzle. And I don't want to go into more of that because I don't want to, but like just kind of a cool effect and kind of experience like it. And then the only thing I was going to mention is from the developer conference, if those of you don't, where Apple does their developer conference that happened this week.
WWDC. Yep.
When they were talking about Vision Pro, they discussed that later this year, this fall, will be the stuff to do the full workflow for capturing and creating stuff. So there's a new lens by Canon to do spatial video that'll be out later this year. And so it'll be, so basically, which is what you can do with the iPhone 15 Pro, but with a bigger sensor, obviously, and like a more higher end camera. So that's cool. But like spatial video is neat. Don't get me wrong, it's neat. But then they also Blackmagic is releasing the dual stereo 8K camera with like a dual lens kind of thing, so they can do the 3D 180 immersive stuff and actually film it with a camera that you just like have.
Awesome.
So that's cool. And with that, they said using that with DaVinci Resolve into compressor will give you a workflow for creating the content, and then partnering with Vimeo is going to be able to distribute the content. So you basically that's the last key, right? You need somewhere, if you're going to create the stuff, you need somewhere you can put it so people can then consume it.
Right.
And of course, obviously Google's not interested in helping them right now.
No.
So then Vimeo is like the next biggest, I think, video player in the world after YouTube, even though there's probably a big gap between those two. But so so for me, from my perspective, as like a storyteller / marketing content kind of person, like that gives me the flow, like I can then embed a video that then someone can watch in Vision Pro on someone's website because of the Vimeo thing, right? So
Awesome.
that means by the end of the year, the tool should be there to do that, which is cool. And I was excited. So
You see all the discourse already about Apple Intelligence.
I haven't not seen actually any discourse on it because I haven't
Really?
had time to look at anything other than
Yeah, people are
up in arms.
Yeah, because they think it's like AI where it is like just taking all your data. But it's like, it's Apple. They don't do that.
They literally
That's their
said
point.
that
I
a
know.
million times when they talked about it.
I know.
This is all on device. We're not just taking your data anywhere.
People don't believe
people are
it.
idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, did I just say that on the podcast? You know who you are.
Yeah. None of you listeners
None.
or visual listeners
No.
are
Because you're not.
idiots.
Because you're listening to us.
Yeah.
So you're smart.
Yeah. That's right.
Anyway, yeah. So that's cool. I'm
Mhm.
kind of excited about that. Because that's kind of I'd like to dabble in that stuff and do some stuff with
Definitely.
that. But like the workflow was like it's just not there, and that's what you need. So
Is there an alternative to DaVinci Resolve?
for you need an alternative.
Like something else that can do what you do in DaVinci Resolve?
Well, I don't use DaVinci Resolve.
That's why I was wondering, yeah. Because like you mentioned that one as the thing to use.
Well, I think because it has some stuff with the Blackmagic camera.
Because it's essentially
Final Cut Pro. It's the
right.
same-
That's what I thought. Yeah.
like the same. Yeah, I think it's just something to do with that workflow.
Okay.
Because the spatial video stuff can be edited in Final Cut Pro, but this specific stuff that's going to be in a specific Blackmagic camera to do the 180 stuff, it must just need to be. There must be something specific to it that they. I'm sure at some point it'll eventually be able to be done in Final Cut Pro too.
I figured it would be the best. I mean, if whatever Apple project or product, right, which is Final Cut now they own, right?
Mhm.
So same with Logic, because there's plenty of other DAWs as well.
Mhm.
But Logic, if it's going to be for an Apple product with the Vision Pro, it's like I feel like it'd be the best to do use.
Well, yeah,
Final Cut.
It's probably
I feel like it would integrate right the most,
yeah,
and easiest.
yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's probably just to get it to market because they're making the hardware, not Apple. That they're making,
That's
they
true.
can make it easily work with certain codec or whatever it needs to. Because then you still need to go to compressor
Right.
in that part. Like they definitely clearly said a workflow between that and compressor is an Apple product,
Mm-hmm.
and then to Vimeo for distribution. So
Right.
there's definitely another step in there too. But so I that's my guess that it's like some proprietary way that they're kind of creating that content and so that because they're making the hardware, not that Apple couldn't partner with them, I guess if they really wanted to.
I'm sure
but,
they'll do their own thing.
yeah, but
their
eventually,
own.
I don't think they'll make their own camera like that. But
You don't think so?
no, just eventually they'll probably just they'll build in support to it and Final
They
Cut
still
Pro.
doing their own car
No, they scrapped
or
that.
their own TV, like actual TV.
I don't know about that. I feel like that was scrapped a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
That rumor was old. But like the car thing, like they definitely were looking into in some way, shape, or form. And the more recent rumor in the last year is that they kind of
Okay.
redistribute those resources and people to other things and kind of whatever reason. I don't know. But I mean, I don't.
That was your mini WWDC recap. We didn't even go into.
Anything.
Yeah.
Really. But
I hate that they do, like, it's always like, oh, available immediately for developers, which I get it, why they do that. But then I'm like, they don't ever say the date. They're like, public beta later.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they don't want to commit to something
I
because
know.
they want to like
I just want to know when I can use.
squash enough bugs before they
Yeah.
release it. All right, so let's get into Dark Matter, episode 6, Superposition. Talk about that briefly for a little bit. So this one, synopsis: Daniela suspects something is just not right with her husband, and then Jason, Juan, and Amanda grow closer.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you tell me about this. I haven't watched
you
it
didn't
yet.
finish it all.
No, I started it. Yeah.
I mean, what it says, like, it's interesting to see, like, so he screws up subtly first and then majorly. I don't know how far you got when you were watching it, but
No, it was
he
still the
he
beginning.
ends up getting like a thing of ice cream for his kid, and his kid's allergic to nuts, and they end up in ER.
Well, we knew that was going to happen eventually.
Something
You
like that's
can't
gonna
keep.
happen. Yeah, he can't keep the facade
No.
going on. So then they end up in ER, and she's like, "What are you thinking?" And he's, and of course he's got to play it off. So there's that, and then he so then she's saying some stuff to her friend, and so eventually she convinces her to follow him, and so she follows him and then finds his little like storage unit. Which I'm not sure why this Jason knows where the storage unit is. I don't know. But anyway, that the Jason 1 had. But then that's where she finds little capsules of the empty capsules of the stuff that they take to
decoherence.
Yeah,
whatever.
Decoherence, yes. And so then she goes to the Jimmy Simpson's character. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either. He hadn't been on the show in a while. He was like in the first episode. That was it.
Yeah. And she goes to him, and then she's like, and then he actually analyzes it, and then he tracks down Jason, but of course it's Jason 2.
Right.
He doesn't know that yet. And he's like, where'd you come up with this compound? Because as we know, Jimmy Simpson in the other universe is the one that helped develop that compound.
Yep.
So then he's like, did you steal my research? So he's all mad. And then, and Jason 2 is like, no, I didn't, and he plays dumb. And then he like finally is like, let me show you something. And he shows him the box. And then he shows him another world, and then he just leaves him there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And then he goes back. And then he decides, then he's like really conflicted. And then at the end of the episode, he concretes it in.
Well, that's what he was talking about, sealing it up, right?
Yeah. So he has somebody come in and like put a mold all around it and concrete.
Okay.
So, and I was like, oh, this is a good end of Act 2.
Right, yeah, because there's 9,
there's only 9.
7, 8, 9, yeah.
So like we'll have 7, 8, 9 as the final arc.
Which 7's out, because we're basically...
Because we're almost a week behind on this, but because it comes out Wednesday nights.
Yep. So it's still... Well, Tuesday, it's like late Tuesday nights.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So it's still... Like we've been saying, so it's still like getting better and more.
I think so. So then the other group, Jason 1 and Amanda, they're jumping around. He's finding like getting closer and closer. He's like taking notes and writing and like kind of figuring it, like trying to hone in on how to find his original.
Okay.
Now I think I feel like, you have to see what you think when you watch it. I feel like they kind of left it where it's possible that Jason 1 and Amanda might have made it in before, because like the way they're cutting back and forth in the stories and the gap, like it could be that the last place they went, even though you didn't see it, like they could go back and be like, oh, yeah, actually they made it in before he sealed it off.
Oh, okay.
Like, right, like that, like they kind of like left it a little open-ended enough that like the next episode you could be like, oh, they actually made it before he sealed it. I don't know, but it was funny because he's getting close to finding ones that are similar but not really his reality, and he's like, I can see where Jason 2's. He's like, because I'm watching myself with her, and I'm getting thoughts that I don't like. Like he's like at that point because he's finally finding ones that are a lot closer to normal than what he's used to. So, but it also just we get more Jennifer Connelly in this one as a blonde even in this.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
And,
how many new worlds and like
they do several different but they're much more subtle now. They
because they're closer to
so they're not like these wacky. Other than the one he takes to Jimmy Simpson too, because then that one's like very different. But
okay,
so no, it's still really good and like.
Let me guess. Spoiler alert: she's still attractive.
Yes. Yes.
What if you're like, man, she's just.
I mean, some people might not like her.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that'd be your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think it's still good. I mean, like,
okay.
I mean, solid sci-fi
Maybe
show.
by the end, it'll be actually like where we said it's just.
I mean,
that last little bit.
Right. If they land this,
yeah,
with something at this point, like as long as they land this with like a solid ending,
the final act. I mean, this would be the final 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say it's like be like a good strong recommendation to watch.
But it's not a mini series, right? So
I don't know, but it's based on a book.
right. So I wonder what their plans are for it.
Not sure. Not sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, I mean, on the flip side, just talking about it, like Severance, as good as it was, like if that ending, like the last episode, would have been like stupid. No, it's not. It's amazing.
One of the best endings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But season one, like if you like, if it kind of went
Right.
and you just like, what was this? Like all that setup, as
That
good as
was
it
so
was,
good, and then a bad ending. Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, and then you'd be like, oh, season two, okay.
Right.
I mean, I'll probably check it out because most of season one was pretty good, but I hate how they ended season one. Like that's the attitude you'd have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And so, like, I think this, even though, again, I don't think the first and middle of the season is as strong as Severance was. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, but if they end this, then I'm like, this is
It'd
gonna
be really exciting for season two. Yeah.
if there's a season two, or just a good ending, whatever,
Yeah.
good mini series or whatever you want to call it.
I don't think there's one like bad thing even thinking about Severance, like in that whole first season.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it, which
I know I do want to do that.
do want to do.
Yeah,
Definitely do want to do.
definitely.
Before that.
Well, we might have a gap where we can just do it for the pod, even
maybe.
leading up. If we ever, maybe if we could date early enough out that we know, and then we could kind of do a lead up. That'd be cool. Although I don't know what else.
Even if we're covering something else, like we're doing.
Oh
here,
yeah, we could still
shows.
do it, and we wouldn't have to do it every episode. Do like a couple.
Yeah, we can figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. You want to hear us talking about Severance more than we already are?
Man, I know. Those might be long pods.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like if we ever did a Mad Men, I feel like that would be just be like 2-hour episodes every week.
That would be. It would. Yeah. If we did one episode per pod, it would be longer than the episode length. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's get into the Acolyte. Episode 3, Destiny.
Yeah.
All right. So since I've been doing a lot of talking, I'll just read the synopsis and we'll let you know. On a mysterious planet, the tragic journey of two sisters begins. Also, just want to mention this episode was directed by Kaganada, who
not the
showrunner, not the Russian dollar, but he directed 4 episodes of Pachinko.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So, what were your thoughts on this episode? I have a feeling I already know where you're.
Yeah. I'm curious what you think about it too. It sucks because it's like the very beginning of the episode. It's like, what does it say, 16 years ago or something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, awesome. We're going even further back. And then right afterwards, literally the whole episode, I'm like, this is so boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really care about any of it, like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks because this could have been done really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Kind of glad that we're going to be going to House of the Dragon now because I don't know about this show. I mean, I'm still going to watch it, but it's a bummer, honestly. I don't know. Did you like it at all, this episode?
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe not like as hating on it as too much, but I was like, it was boring. I mean, it should have been a 10-minute cold open to an episode.
Yes.
It should not have been a
whole episode. Yeah, it was longer than 30 minutes.
I didn't look to see how long it was, but it shouldn't have been.
I think it was
35, 40-minute episode. That's basically where it's to me.
Yeah.
It's which is what most shows would do. So that's why it was weird that like they dedicate a whole episode to this flashback.
Yeah, and this season's not like longer. Like I think it's the same as like a lot of the other ones, like 8 episodes, right? Like
I don't know.
Ahsoka.
I haven't looked.
I think it is.
Not an Andor with 12.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I think it's 8. So
yeah, so I'm a bit of a waste. I know I'm looking forward to episode 4 because I know all the critics got the first 4.
Okay.
And a lot of them said, yeah, this was a downer, but then 4th episode was probably one of the best ones of the 4.
Okay.
And
This is the worst of the 3.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Um, so I just put, yeah, not really any action or fighting, which is not
No.
like it has to be good,
No.
but
That's what I mean, because it's like, although they explain it in a different way, which I thought was weird, but like a lot of this has to do with the Force, and which is like, this is all very interesting stuff that they did insanely well in, which one was that in? Book of Boba Fett. That episode with literally Luke, Grogu, Ahsoka, literally everyone was in it, and it was all Grogu's past. Like, you remember that? Like, that was also when the second time we saw Luke, where we were like, oh, he looks amazing now and not bad. Like the end of whatever season of Mandalorian that was. But anyway, but yeah, and that was like, even that. That episode was just amazing anyway. But like seeing them training and all that in that episode, I thought was just so good. This though, I don't. I think it was weird how they described the Force specifically.
Yeah. Well, I think they.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. What this is where I was going to ask a little bit your thoughts, because like I feel like you've seen more because you've seen a lot more of of course Lucas more, but he's not on.
Yeah.
But I was like kind of because like for instance the Witch Coven, like how is that similar to, because there was like, weren't there like witches in Ahsoka?
Mm-hmm.
Are they the same kind of thing?
That's why I was wondering why they were called witches, because I don't think so. And that's
Okay.
why I was trying to figure out what. And the planet they're on, I don't even know the planet, because they say that at the beginning too.
Right.
So I don't think it has anything to do with the witches from Dathomir or anything that we did get in Ahsoka, and we get a lot of that in the video games too, which is where I know a lot of it from. It's in the show or the Clone Wars and Rebels as well, I want to say, but. Yeah, I don't know. That's what else confused me about it is this just a new thing they made up? Or is this in something?
I feel like they were trying to portray them as like these kind of in between, even though they were witches, like they were not really on the dark side,
right,
or the light side. They were kind of like, well, but the Force is, its own, you don't need to, it's not trying to control your destiny, whatever, like, like just, it's for all of us to use, not one person to wield, like they kind
of. Well, it seemed more like it was like, just like the way you were describing it, like it's kind of like they're describing it as like in a really like hippie-ish way,
Yeah. And almost like in a little like,
and like really where it's like, hey man, nothing matters, and it's like, well.
Then the other thing was like they hinted at like they created these kids.
Yeah, that was weird too.
Yeah, but then like still the one lady carried them in her womb. She said,
"Yeah, they're twins." But yeah, I don't know.
So
I didn't really understand.
Then I'm like, is this another like child of the Force, like Anakin was? Like, is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
Which is also weird, like because of like I feel like even it was weird when they did it once, but to do it more than once starts to get really. Yeah, I don't know. Like again, it's kind of a weird episode.
Yeah, well, it's just a lot of it didn't really make sense, and it seemed because again, like this is roughly 100 years before Phantom Menace, even so. Right. There's a lot of new stuff they can add in here, which is why I was so excited for the show. But it seems like a lot of this, especially this episode, where this is not, even though it's 100 years ago, it's not lining up at all with even going into the movies afterwards. Mm-hmm. Now again, this could just be their belief, which is fine, because people, just like with religions, would have different beliefs of the Force, so that's fine. Like but this is also centered on our main characters going forward, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see how they.
I know. Again,
they do it going forward. But a lot of it did just bother me because, like you said, it should have just been a beginning part and not the whole episode.
yeah. The other note I had was, man, May is such a bratty kid and just
Oh, yeah.
spoiled and can't stand her.
No.
And just like downright evil that she's like trying to burn her sister just because her sister's doesn't agree with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, man, definitely some childhood trauma there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like the whole setup to try to like, I feel again, this is one of those areas where I think it would have been better to just not see it so that they don't have to explain it and just allow us to believe that they were confused and thought the other one was, each of them thought the other one was dead.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how they left it in episode 2. And I think not trying to over explain it is probably better. Because then they try to,
I agree.
They try to show it to us here, and then it just is like not as believable.
This is actually something. Now again, I do like the prequels, but they're not perfect by any means. There's a lot of weird stuff George Lucas did with those, but I do remember him. I think it was something recently because he did just like actually talk because he hasn't talked in a while about Star Wars at all. I think he did something recently, and he was talking about how, which again, I know he was involved somewhat with the Ahsoka show. And they periodically, you'd see behind the scenes, like he would show up on set. I don't know much hands-on he was with, like even, remember like Mandalorian? Because there's a picture of him like with Grogu, I remember.
Yeah.
But with this one, I have no idea if he was involved or not. It doesn't seem like it. But he said something recently, I think, about, especially with the Force, but a lot of like the mythos with Star Wars. He says you need to not over-explain it and leave some mystery, like they did with the originals. What I think is a good balance of that, right? You have to explain someone. It can't be a total mystery, which I think they did so well, especially in the original trilogy. But if you overly explain it, then it doesn't really make it a big deal anymore, right? Even though it still is, but then it's like, you know what I mean? So I think that
makes it easier to poke holes in it in your head.
Yes, that's
like,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to get into the weeds and the details of it versus just kind of making it this like thing that just like, well, this is what, and we can control people's minds, we can move things, and we do this, you know.
I mean, it's literally like a line or two. Like he's like it's
all around.
What he said, yeah, Force is energy, it flows through us. Right? Like they don't say that much, and then you're just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and
like,
you're totally fine with it. And yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something else they're doing, which is not great in this show, is over explaining it. I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, any other?
No, I didn't have any notes to this because I really didn't.
We can only go up from here.
Well, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, like you said, and if everyone got screeners, probably the next one's better. Yeah,
that's what it's been going around because.
Yeah. Oh, and then next week, I mean, that's already halfway through.
Yep,
which is crazy.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know. I mean, I thought episode 1 was pretty good.
Yeah, that was.
And then episode 2 was like okay, and then this is like man.
Yep.
So hopefully episode 4 is back on par with episode 1 of this.
Hopefully better than episode 1.
Yeah, that'd be even better. Yeah. Cool. Well, next week we have episode 1 of season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Yes.
We'll definitely be discussing that. Of course, we'll probably touch on Acolyte and Dark Matter. I mean, let's keep this going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to finish all those then.
Yeah.
We'll have 3 now to do.
I mean, again, we don't have to go in deep in all these, but like just I like talking about them and yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, so let us know your thoughts on any of this stuff you liking. Did you like this episode of Acolyte? Tell us in the comments, tell us in feedback. You can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com.
Tell us we're wrong and this is the best Star Wars.
Tell us what you think of dark matter. Superposition.
Yeah.
Vision Pro corner. Do you like my Vision Pro? Do I need to make a whole special little thing for it?
Good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like that we basically bring up Severance every week, regardless of what we're talking about?
Or our little tech corner where we talked about Apple stuff. Maybe you like that. I don't know. Because we could definitely go down those rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah. It's careful what you ask for, though.
Anyway, just just let us know what you want to see more of or hear more of, and
yeah,
we can accommodate. Possibly. No promises.
Yeah.
But thank you for watching and listening, and if you want to follow either one of us on Instagram, I'm at Jay Youngbar.
And I'm at Jered Youngbar.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time.